What's up, guys? Today we are talking about the Game Awards and Expedition 33 specifically. It sweeped, it won like 8 or 9 different categories, which I'll show you in a moment. And in all honesty, it deserved it. It is one of the best games I've ever played, if not the best game. I've heard recently that people are going through Expedition 33 fatigue because people just hear about it too often. If something's great, then something's great. That's really all there is to it. If you're annoyed about hearing about this game all the time, but you haven't tried it, just try it. I'm someone who doesn't even like RPGs. I hated every Final Fantasy game I've ever played, and this was a turn-based RPG that I enjoyed. So, as you can see here, it won Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, I definitely agree with that one, Best Score and Music, Best Performance, Best Independent Game, again, agreed. Best Debut Indie Game, this feels redundant, that's basically the same as the last one. It did not win Best VR, because it's not VR, but when they make the VR version, it will come again next year and win Best VR. Best RPG, and that seems to be all of them. I thought it was going to get Player's Choice, but I was wrong. That was Wuthering Waves. I have not tried that one yet, but I've heard quite a bit about it. Regardless, this game did fantastic for a first-time project from a team, and I'll jump right into why it's so good. So I feel like what really stole the show for everybody was the character design, the world building, and the story. The different locations you can visit are creative, they're colorful, they're interesting. It's like they took a mishmash of JRPG tropes and mixed it with French culture. The attention to detail in the outfits, the graphics, and the colors, all the little things that come together to become the aesthetic of the game, it does add something special. I would argue the game would be a little bit worse if it just looked normal, right? Like the gameplay was identical, story was identical, but it just had the level of attention for coloring and graphics that Gears of War had. It would still be a good game, but it wouldn't be as breathtaking. Again, when it comes to visuals, it's the kind of thing you gotta see. I can only say so much. The gameplay also really stands out to me because, like I mentioned earlier, I don't really like turn-based RPGs. So, I always say, if a chef can take a food you don't like and make it delicious, that's a great chef. Same concept. Sandfall Interactive, I believe that's the name of the studio that made this. They took a genre of game I don't care about, and they made the combat engaging enough and the enemies interesting enough where I wanted to play it. Animations for attacks are fluid, combat is challenging, but it's not undoable, and I love that you have the option to kind of shoot at your opponents for extra damage if you choose to. Having both the melee option, the magic option, and the gun option was nice. I won't say too much about the story, because it should just be experienced. You shouldn't watch this video and walk away knowing all of the plot points. Ultimately, in a mythical version of France, all of the people in this town called Lumiere, they die once they hit the age of 33. To try and prevent this, they make expeditions where they send out all of the 32-year-olds out onto this ship to go explore a nearby island where they believe a magic creature is causing everyone to die. I do want to talk about the ending, so we're going to get into some spoiler territory. If you want to experience the game, this is the point of the video where you just kind of pause and log off, because I'm doing spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One thing that really captivated me about this game is that it functionally ends twice, in the same way where the Batman film that had Edward Cullen in it. Oh, what's the actor's name? Robert Pattinson. A fantastic Batman film. That movie kind of functionally ends twice. There's a whole YouTube video about it. This game does that too, and I'll explain. So about midway through the game, you've gathered your teammates, you've done your quest, you've reached the final destination where you're going to battle the creature that's causing all of this death in Lumiere. The Paintress. You go through this level that kind of has elements of all the levels you've done before, and you're building up to this big climactic battle. You defeat her, and you save Lumiere. Everyone's celebrating, you've accomplished your mission. And honestly, the game could have stopped there and still been great. It could have just been a standard story about overcoming a challenge, but they wanted to add more artistic flourish to it. Soon after, you find out that all of the people in this painted world aren't real. They were created, and that the only real person in this world is Mayel, the female lead. In the real world, she had suffered terrible burns, and is functionally handicapped. But through entering this magic painting that her mother had created, she can live in a world where she is free to travel, have friends, and live a standard, normal-ish life. So the true ending of the game, the end of Act 3, it has you deciding if you're going to allow Mael to live in this fantasy world until she dies with all of these artificial people that she loves. Or you can side with a character named Verso, who is an artificial version or a painted version of her brother who had died in real life. And this copy wants to set her free. He wants to get her out of the painting to go live in the real world. It was a plot twist I was not expecting. I loved it. The way they did it, I loved it. It was one of those games where once they give you the choice to pick, are you going to play as her and fight to stay in the illusion, or are you going to play as Verso and fight to kick her out of it? I had to like pause and kind of sit and think like, oh, well, like, what do I want to do with this story? I chose to play as Mael. I thought someone should have the right to live the lie if they wanted to. I guess that was the bad end. It was very well done. This is one of those games where I think it was lightning in a bottle. I don't think the sequel can recapture what the first one was. And that's not a diss at the sequel. Like, I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure that they're going to have the same teamwork on it. But I do think some things can only be made once. Death Stranding was another game like that, where the first game was so weird that I haven't played the sequel yet, but I already know it can't really recreate the oddity of the first game. And this happens with a lot of stuff where the first one is always the best. I think this is going to be one of those situations. I don't think Expedition 33's sequels can really match up with this. I would be very happy if I was proven wrong. I think this game deserved every award that it got. To be honest, I had expected it to get snubbed. I thought the games industry would be upset that it was like an indie game doing better than most AAA titles. I figured there'd be kind of some backroom dealings where they would make sure it didn't get too much of the limelight. I was wrong. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else more to say. If you haven't tried it, go try it. It is worth every dollar that it costs. If you liked the video, hit subscribe, hit the like button, the bell, do all the things, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for watching.